All right. Well, the season's over. The chase is over. Fuck NASCAR. I think we were
Yep,
talking. Yep, that's. Jesus Christ.
it's it's really upsetting. This season was more upsetting, I think, than the past two chases because I think it's really just kind of struck me in with the full weight of like this format of just like how much NASCAR has changed and how far they've fallen. Because this format is just unbelievably stupid. It's there's no excuse for it, but whatever. I mean, I think the
Fuck. I
part
mean,
that pisses me off it's that they're comparing Jimmy Johnson's 7 championships,
to Dale
championships
Earnhardt
quote
and
unquote, to
to
Richard Petty
Dale
and Earnhardt. Like,
and
it
yeah,
doesn't make
Kevin.
sense to make a comparison when they're on wildly different formats.
Oh, absolutely. I think if we were
Wildly different. I
if
mean, like Richard, I don't know.
if we were to use
They're
if we were to use the real formats, like I mean, the pre 2004 formats, Johnson would only be a three-time champion.
Yeah. And not only that, but if you were to use this format, for example, on all the previous seasons, like how many titles would I mean, I don't know. It's pretty possible Richard Petty in like what 1967 would not be the champion because he didn't win the final race. That was a season where he had 27 wins and 10 of them consecutive, and like he would not have been the champion under that. Like that's any season or any format that allows such a travesty like that is an abomination.
Yeah, I feel I mean, I guess they're under pressure not to. They still want to make sure NASCAR has a good image, but like, you ever wonder the old school drivers like Petty and Darrell Waltrip? There is a part of me that thinks that they know that there's a lot of problems with this format. I think they're aware of the issues too, but they don't want to say anything because they don't. I think they're worried that if they criticize the format, they would be delegitimizing the sport.
And I don't think it's that. I think it's if they criticize it, they're going to be in trouble
They might
because
get fired. Yeah,
yeah,
Waltrip would probably get fired.
NASCAR has a very close relationship with their broadcasters, like with Fox and NBC. Unlike kind of other sports, where the commentators, I don't want to say they regularly criticize the sanctioning bodies, but they don't shy away from it necessarily. But in NASCAR, yeah, like have you ever heard a commentator actually criticize a decision by NASCAR?
Nope,
Because I haven't. It's
nope.
like anytime they do anything, like NASCAR made the right call. I love this. I love this new format. Oh, that's a great decision, and
They're
it's
just kind
just
of
sickening.
they're kind of just forced into it.
Yeah.
Fuck. I really hope at least someone from the older days at least says something about this because this is
I
fucked
think
up.
Tony, if anybody would, it would be Tony Stewart.
It could have been Dale Earnhardt. Too bad that too bad he's dead.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe not, but yeah, it's pretty likely.
yeah. Tony Stewart's the only one I could see voicing his opinion on it.
Hey, he wasn't afraid to go after Goodyear.
Yeah.
He was like the only driver who actually had a spine in regards to criticizing Goodyear.
Yeah. I just
Something that should
even
have been things that many drivers should be doing, but
yeah.
only a select
It's I
few
don't know.
actually got the balls to do it. Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be nice if like some of them did because now all of them are so like milk toast and they're like capitulation to every change NASCAR throws out that it's like there's no hope for any kind of dissent anymore among the drivers. I mean, like Tony Stewart was really the last guy to ever do anything like that.
Gordon did it a
When he
few. Gordon every now and then. I think he criticized Goodyear a few times, but that was only when it really affected
yeah,
him.
Gordon was kind of critical of safety standards, which is one thing because I think NASCAR does typically value that. Um, but like Tony Stewart saying like the lug nut rule, like not tightening lug nuts. He's just said it's stupid and it's dangerous, and NASCAR fined him for it, which is kind of hilarious.
Oh, yeah, that was like
Um,
the new rule for this year, right?
yeah, that was why they reinstituted the 5 lug nut rule.
Oh,
Um,
they reinstated it. Wow, I didn't even.
reinstate. Yeah, it used to be you had to have 5 on there to begin with, and
Then
they
they
relaxed it.
because then their
And
whole theory was, well, yeah, the whole idea was, well, if they don't have five lug nuts, they'll realize it and they'll just come in within 10 laps anyway.
yeah, if they don't have 5 lug nuts, then their tire will fall off while they're going 190 and they'll wreck. So they'll learn,
Yeah,
which
but
teams didn't.
What's wrong with the stray tire on the track? You know, what's
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I wish somebody would say something or somebody because it doesn't feel like anybody it doesn't feel like the fans actually have a voice in this. I mean, they ignore the fans' wishes all the time,
Well,
especially with
they're trying to give into the new generation of younger fans, which
yeah.
even
And that's a mistake. That's a
I'm starting
mistake.
to notice that's becoming a problem in other sports as well, like
Yeah.
college football. Like I'll just give you an example. Like in college football now, like every team has like a sponsorship with with a shoe company, whether it's Nike or Adidas. And what they do is they provide them new uniforms. And what they do is like a lot of these uniform they have like a different combination of jerseys like throughout the year. So sometimes whereas like, in the old, whereas, a few decades ago, it was just, you had your colored jersey for home, your white jersey for away, and no one really got crazy with like the jersey combinations. Ooh, if I have a gray helmet with like a white jersey with black pants. But that's becoming the problem today, where it's like every single game you have to have a different uniform combination. And the thing is that actually bodes very well with the younger fans because the younger fans see that as stylish, but a lot of the older fans think it's just a gimmick. And it
Yeah.
seems like that's going to become a problem with a lot of those sports. There's just way too many gimmicks nowadays.
I think NASCAR is far worse in those respects, though, because they've actually been changing the rules. They haven't
Yeah.
just been adding gimmicks. Like they literally scrapped the championship format that they had for like what 60 years, or not quite 60, like 50 something.
I think it was from 47 to 2003, so it's 56.
Yeah, I mean,
57, sorry.
yeah, like what other sport is going to do that? And is the NFL going to get rid of the Super Bowl suddenly? Because it's like what I don't know. It's just like NASCAR's done a far worse job, and they're going to keep. I don't know. Like Brian France just needs to be assassinated. Really, that's the first step in a proper solution.
That's
Yeah, I'll go on air and say
yeah,
I just
yeah,
want to
yeah,
kill
yeah.
Brian France.
No one really watches the live streams anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah,
But fuck, yeah, I I guess I wouldn't mind a change of leadership. It's just like that. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think France is probably gonna be around for probably another decade or two, which is gonna suck.
yeah, and for the record, none of these complaints that we're lobbying are because of who won the championship. I just want to say that, like, I'm not salty about whoever won out of those four drivers because I really couldn't have cared less. It's just it's stupid that that is how the championship is determined now.
Yep.
I mean, the championship by any standard should be the team who performs the best over the course of a season. Like that's it's I mean when you have like motorsports, when you have 40 teams that are consistently competing each other, it's not like it's in football where you have two teams every week. That's all there is. It's just one team versus another. But it's so dumb. I mean, fucking Kyle Busch, 22nd in points, is the champion from last year. Like how name me any other sport where you could be 22nd in points, you
Miss
know?
1/3 of the season. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
still,
be declared, I mean, what the fuck does champion even mean if that's how it's determined? What does that word mean? Because it typically used to be like, the person who outperformed everyone on a weekly basis.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll put it this way. Like, there have been some interesting, like, there have been some interesting teams that have like won like playoffs before, like who were lower seed.
Yeah,
Like I can understand if you're like maybe eighth or ninth in the regular season, but still win the championship. Like that's okay, just because it's a more complex playoff system
yeah,
where you actually have to take on tougher teams. Like if you're a lower seed, you're automatically pitted up against a higher seed. So if you're able to pull off like the I mean, I think there have been some who've done that. Like if you know anything about hockey, I think the LA Kings like back in 2012 were like the eighth seed. I think they were either like 15th or 16th in the play in with the regular season record, but they still won the Stanley Cup. Like that's one I'm okay with, just because I understood that they had to take on all these one seeds and two seeds just to get to the championship.
yeah. Well, with stick and ball sports, the way you win is different. I mean, like if
Yeah,
you accumulate a points lead in the middle of a game, it doesn't suddenly evaporate if there's a debris caution, quote unquote. Like if you have a 50-point lead at halftime, you keep that 50-point lead. Whereas like in NASCAR, if you get a 10-second lead and caution comes out, well, you don't have a 10-second lead anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Although
they're not analogous really at all.
Yeah. Although in this case, it was.
You still there?
Reset.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh.
Yeah, you.
It says that my network actually might be experiencing difficulties. Sorry. Yeah, it's fine right now. But I was going to say when that caution when Edwards took the lead with when he had the lead with about 15 laps to go, there was that caution. That was was a car. I think there was a car that spun out, right? Or
yeah. I don't remember who it was.
I'd have to. Shit,
because I've sort of repressed all of the memories I have from that.
I don't want to have that stupid fucking race. I know, but we'll still talk about it anyway because oh well. I think it was Reagan Smith who had the problem.
Could be.
Yeah. So when he has, but in that regard, I mean, it was obvious that Carl Edwards probably had the fastest car. He had
of the four guys.
Yeah, he was the best car and all of the. Out of the four championship drivers, he had, risen himself into that champion. I think he had worked his way essentially to that spot. I mean, he was the one who actually worked for it. But all it takes is just one guy to spin out and another bring up the caution and another guy to take you out with 10 laps to go.
Yeah.
I mean, like under most normal circumstances, like any other normal circumstance, Edwards should have been the winner just because we know he was the best car out of the four. But yeah, because of stupidity like this.
But yeah, of course. I mean, God, like it's very jarring. Just look at the trends of like the number of green-white checkers in the last 10 races of the season over the course of 15 years. Yeah. It's skyrocketed.
I'm starting to turn against. I mean, I used to like the idea of green-white checkered finishes, but I think now we're starting to see the problems with them.
It's not. I don't really have a problem with them. I should have said like the number of late race cautions. Excuse me, which is essentially the same thing as the number of green-white checkers.
But I mean, but like Joey Logano would never have gotten under Carl Edwards if that was a green-white check. If it was a double file restart. I'm sorry. Did I say green-white checkered? I meant to say double file restart. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, yeah. No,
I am so sorry about that. Yeah. I used to like the idea of double file restarts, but now I'm starting to turn against them because
they do. Like single file restarts were a little bit more fair, simply because if you had an advantage before the caution, you typically kept that advantage. I mean, you preserved some semblance of that advantage on the restart.
It's all gone with the double file.
Because you didn't have to worry about getting put 3 or 4 wide as long as you got going well enough. Whereas, now you automatically have, at least one car beside you to worry about. Especially if you're at California and New Hampshire too. Like double file restarts don't make sense at some of these tracks.
It makes the least amount of sense at Homestead. I think that's the whole point. Like that's why I think they really enjoy having Homestead as the final race, just because it's one of the widest tracks. At least on the front stretch.
Yeah.
You can go 3 wide right on the restart and take the lead. I mean, it was fun for those 4 or 5 laps when Gordon held the lead because of a good restart at the last race. But
yeah,
I'm starting to now realize all the limits to it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine if they got rid of double file, but the reality is they'll probably go to triple file restarts in the next 2 years.
I thought so. Brian Francis. This is the thing. Like, I would have thought he would have understood the limits of the previous chase system. Which, quite frankly, if I had to make a compromise, I'd go back to the pre-2014 chase system. Yeah. If I could have a choice, fine, I'd compromise. But fuck, like the thing is, every time you think Brian France, okay, thinks he knows he thinks he realizes a problem and he's gonna do something to fix it, he supposedly fixes it by fucking it
Well,
up
he
even
just,
worse.
yeah, he exacerbates it. I mean,
How do you
the entire, um, I don't know, the impetus for this new format was to prevent people from like sitting on top of a points lead and just taking it easy. He wanted to create like mandatory excitement every lap. And the fact of the matter is, like, people still have, like a guy who wins a race has like an automatic advance. He doesn't have to do shit for the next 2 weeks. So he doesn't have to race everybody hard. Like every scenario that he has tried to eliminate with all of these format changes still persists. Like he doesn't realize like you will never be able to get rid of points racing in motorsports. You'll never be able to get rid of, like some of these slide strategy moves. Like they're always going to be there, and you're not going to be able to eliminate them by changing the formats.
The other thing is just the win and you're into the chase system. That's the real bullshit. I mean, come on, Chris Buescher
Yeah,
in the
winning
chase.
you're in, or just winning like you advance with a win is even stupid when you think about it,
Oh
because you
yeah,
could
it is.
DNF 2 of the 3 races and win the third one, and suddenly you've outqualified somebody who was consistent through all 3 of them.
Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, that's stupid, and there's really nothing smart about it. Honestly, that's probably the best way to say it. Like, I really don't have any praise for this format because it fucks up almost everything.
Think you've pretty much hit the nail on the head with that statement. Doesn't really get more simplistic than that.
Yeah.
But we'll go to 27. We'll talk about 2017 first, but just kind of, I was just going to mention the 4 drivers. I mean, I was rooting for Edwards. I still hold that he would have won it if it weren't for late race bullshit. But
Yeah.
I was at least surprised he was a good sport about it. He understood. He at least he didn't blame anybody. He took full responsibility for that wreck.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was his fault.
Yeah, I mean, okay, when I say like maybe not totally his fault, it's just racing. That's just what you expect from hard, close racing late. Especially towards the closing of the race. But
Yeah.
he should have let off. That's just how it is.
Yeah, he really. I mean, once Logano was obviously there, he wouldn't have been able to turn him if he wasn't already inside. So once he got to that point, he really should have just moved up, and because, like I said, Logano would it's pretty unlikely Logano would have gotten the spot given that he was entering turn 1 almost on the apron. He would have had to back out of it much more than Edwards did. So it was, I don't know, I guess just, in the heat of the moment, Edwards probably wasn't thinking that. But yeah. And not only that, but like think about how dramatically that impacted the championship outcome. I mean, before that, Jimmy never had a shot, really.
But just by avoiding that wreck, because
Yeah.
he got off to a good restart on that wreck as well, but he pulled up before Logano did.
Yeah, like before that happened, I think almost everyone had written Jimmy Johnson off.
I did.
Yeah, because he was like what, 8th or something, or
Started
maybe.
like at the back of the pack, made his way up pretty quickly, but he just never really had the speed to move up with all the other drivers.
Yeah, but then
Always had
just
he was never
caution after caution after caution, and suddenly,
never in the top 5, at least on speed.
yeah,
It's just lucky that he got a couple of good restarts. He was in the right lane, and the other drivers
yeah,
in front of him had trouble, like Edwards
yeah, and
crashing
now
and
he's
Logano taking
literally
damage.
equivalent to Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt because
Yeah,
he got a couple of good restarts. Like now we have to consider him as equal
and
in one,
Kyle
which I
Busch.
never will. But
Yeah. Oh, I never will either. And what Kyle Busch also had a bad pit stop. That's another thing. So it's like, yeah, just all you need is the other 3 drivers in front of you to have late race problems, and you win.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't
all
have to
you
have, you
need
don't
is
have, to have
a
any
bunch of things
skill.
outside of your control to favor you, and then you're the champion. So your championship is almost not even determined by you, so
Yep.
much as it is a confluence of like external factors that really just turn the tides of the whole battle, the whole race.
So okay. So with the results, I think Edwards ended up 34th. I think he was 11 laps short of the finish. Just it was disappointing. I remember I put like my hands like on my head. I was just like I remember just watching that. I'm like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
And I was surprised Logano though. Like he got. I mean, one, it's amazing he wasn't involved in the wreck. Like he missed it by inches when he pulled up.
Yeah.
After Edwards bounced off the wall and just barely missed him.
Yeah.
If Logano had, yeah, I mean, if Logano was just maybe a split second late on pulling up, he would have been screwed as well.
Yep.
And then of course all those other drivers got caught up in the wreck. Truex was on fire. Um,
I think Keselowski was in it. Um,
Casey Kane and a bunch of others.
yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah. What about, well, I guess for your happiness, Kyle Busch. I think he got sixth.
yeah. I don't know why they pit on that last caution. I'll be honest. I thought that was pretty stupid.
I think that was,
They had the outside lane and they had a better car than Jimmy. So
well, the inside lane's the preferred lane on the restart.
not really. I mean, the leader took the outside almost every time. But especially if you're farther back, if you're on the outside, you can kind of sweep around the guys in front of you, or at least try to. So I think he was fourth, maybe, and he pit from fourth, with Jimmy in third. I think I like that. That just baffles me. I don't know why they did that.
I think he was in sixth because he got off to a bad restart. I think the first time, remember, like during the red flag, I think what they said was, okay, it looks like it's you in the 48. He started third and fourth. Yeah, Kyle Busch
I
was
think
third.
Jimmy was third, yeah, and Kyle
You know,
Busch
Kyle
was
Busch I think
sixth.
was third. Jimmy was fourth, but then Jimmy got a good restart because Kyle Busch had a terrible restart. So and then I think on the second green white checkered finish, they said, well, screw it, let's just go for
Yeah, I don't get why they
that
did that.
was
I mean, that threw it away. Like, do you really think he's gonna go from 13th to first on a green white checker when his tire's only what 2 laps fresher? I mean, that was stupid.
he made it up I think to sixth, but uh,
Yeah, but still,
yeah,
it's a long
this
way off.
maybe this will be the call that gets Adam Stevens fired.
I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just the whole thing. I can't like stress enough how stupid it is that 36 race season is going to be determined automatically by
Green white
who
checkered.
gets the best restart, on the last caution.
And
I mean,
surprisingly, it wasn't Logano. We all thought it was going to be Logano. I thought Logano. I think I sent a Facebook message to you. I said, "Oh, with Logano," because everyone was worried that Logano's damage threw him out, but he was actually. It turns out the damage wasn't too severe from the Edwards crash.
yeah, I think he was fine.
Yeah, I think they made a big deal out of that. I didn't see any. I mean, he had a little bit. I mean, okay, like what? Maybe a couple little dents on the side of the car. I mean, that's not really going to affect the aerodynamics that much. It's not like you're at Daytona.
Yeah, it's
But I mean, the fact that I think Logano finished fourth, which I thought he was going to overtake Jimmy on that restart. I really did. I just thought, okay,
yeah. Well, I did too until Jimmy just decides to like completely jump the fucking restart.
I think maybe that threw Logano off a little bit.
I think it threw off everyone because he's not supposed to control the restart, but whatever.
You
I
know,
whatever. I mean, I'm just looking forward to 2017 at this point. I just
yeah. So am I.
enough of that goddamn forbidden race. My
And
friend, my friend has like made a resolution that he's not going to watch any of the chase races anymore, and I'm very tempted to join him with that because I don't
I
think
might
that's a
be
bad
too.
idea. I mean, because the regular season is still not bad. It's like proper points racing, like the way it should be, the way it always has been. It's just these last 10 races are so fucking dumb. It's like unbelievable.
Yep, it is. The worst part is like not even just with Johnson getting the championship, but the fact that he gets the win as well. Like, fuck, like I mean, we already talked a little bit about this. Like, yeah, what you only led 2 laps the entire race. Really had
Yeah,
no
he was
business.
consistently, like, I can't stress this enough. He was almost every lap of the race, he was the slowest of the four guys. I mean, like, he or running position wise, he was the farthest back of all four of them for the entire race, and then just gets a few fortuitous cautions, and suddenly,
Seven-time champion.
yeah, woohoo! You know, he's literally better than Richard Petty, even though Richard Petty has 200 fucking wins and like set all sorts of records. But yeah, let's say Jimmy's just as good.
And what he has 80 wins now, which that one pisses me off. Like, I mean, okay, maybe I'll give him some of that. But, like some of these are the wins that Johnson has. It's just, and you know, he's getting close to Gordon's mark. If he passes Gordon, like I'll understand. But like, it's
I
easy to
think he
get.
probably will.
Probably will, but it's like okay, there's got to at least be like a dozen wins that really shouldn't belong to him. Only just
Yeah,
because of
well, I mean
because of
that's
these.
true of every driver though. Anybody who's racked up that many wins had some that they just kind of locked into.
Yeah. But this one for sure we can say is just a bullshit win.
Yeah, it was. I kind of like I don't know. I thought something like that might happen because I had a feeling that they're never going to let one of the non-four, or I mean, they're never going to let someone outside of the final four win the Homestead race ever again. Like they're just going to keep having cautions until one of those guys gets out front.
Well, that's what happened at the truck race.
Yeah, it's
But they're okay with that.
well,
It's
I
a
mean,
truck
I'm talking
race.
about in the cup races though.
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
I mean, it's just it's I don't know.
All right.
But yeah,
So
on to 2017.
yeah, enough. I know. Yep, enough of that. All right. So long, 2016 season, and hopefully you will be out of our memories one day.
Yeah. Hopefully, like someone will win 10 championships under this format and have like 5 career wins.
Yeah.
That would be great. That because then just love to see them react when like they surpass Jimmy Johnson with like really no real accomplishments. That would be fucking great.
Oh, God. Let's see. 26. I'm just before we go into 2017. I'm thinking, is there any other racing season in NASCAR that you want to forget more than 2016?
Uh,
Like last chance before we really move on.
2014 hurt kind of a lot as a Gordon fan, seeing how like it turned out in the past or the last 4 races. Um, but I don't know. I mean,
2000.
not
What about
really.
2007? I mean,
Yeah, that's another
it's like
one.
okay, Johnson wins 4 in a row, like towards the end of the year. But it's like, oh, okay, Jeff Gordon, who what was it? I think out of the 36 races, he got a top 10 in 30 of them. So 30
Yeah,
for 36.
yeah.
That's
I
more
think
than
that was a record.
yeah, more than 80%. I think it was that's 83% of the races you get a top 10 in,
Yeah.
and you don't win the championship. Fuck off. Okay, if you
Yep.
want to take away 2004 and 2014 away from him, that's fine, but fuck me if you're going to say that Gordon wasn't the champion in 2007. I think like before the chase even started, he was up by like what, 300 points over second place.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, thanks to some Brian France magic, yeah, it doesn't really turn out the way you want it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's really painful to think about like how bad it's gotten. Actually, because NASCAR used to be the shit back in the 90s. Like NASCAR was actually had mainstream popularity. Can you believe that?
Really?
Like, yeah, it was like up there. I mean, like nothing's ever gonna have as big of ratings as the NFL, but it was getting there. I'm not saying it would have been there, but I mean it was actually like even in like metropolitan areas and whatnot, like there were a lot of NASCAR fans and everybody was interested in it. And then of course look at the attendance then versus now. That's the biggest indicator. Like now they have to completely remove sections of the grandstands so that it doesn't look so pathetically empty. It's just like, ugh.
I think it probably fell away after the Earnhardt death.
That it just fell away in like the 2000s because I think people kind of got tired of
The gimmicks.
like, yeah. I mean, there's a pretty stark contrast between how NASCAR was operated in the 90s up until the 2000s, and then afterwards there's a pretty big contrast.
All right. So 2017, I guess Oh, now we're not going to see any more Tony Stewart. Although I'm kind of just
Now,
hoping I'm hoping he pulls off a Jeff Gordon. Maybe one of his drivers is going to get hurt or something, and Stewart fills in for a couple.
no, I'd rather just never see him again.
Well, you'll see him on the racetrack. You'll see him probably on the pit box
Yeah,
for one of his cars.
but I don't know why the fuck they picked Clint Boyer to replace him.
That's the
Like,
thing. I'm still mesmerized by that. Like I'm still trying to think this one through. Like Clint Boyer, who I think has shown that he is on his way out, especially through the last two seasons.
yeah, no kidding. I mean, if I were them, I would have like stolen Eric Jones from JGR or something like that. I mean, Stuart Haas has a lot of prestige at the moment. They're a big team. Um, so like, why not, use all of that kind of gravity that you have to get one of the young stars, the rising stars. Instead, they go with fucking Clint Boyer, who's, 2012 was like the only time he was ever good. And other than that, he was just like mediocre, if not terrible. Granted, they need to get rid of Danica too, but that'll never happen.
Yeah, and they say that they always talk about male privilege.
Yeah. Or they say like, the 40 best stock car drivers in the world. And it's like you cannot stay that with a straight face. Now that Danica's in the lineup, or Brian Scott, but at least he'll be gone now.
Wonder who's going to replace Scott. Hope it's at least someone.
Yeah, that's a good question. They really should.
You
I
think we
don't know.
might?
Maybe Chris Buescher. Honestly, that'd be a pretty good pick.
You think we might see some good? We might at least see some time on the track from some of the Xfinity stars. I wouldn't mind seeing some. I wouldn't mind seeing Eric Jones or Daniel Suarez being a few
Yeah,
races this year.
it's possible. I mean, JGR could. Well, I mean, Eric Jones is going to be.
On
Um,
Truex, yeah,
yeah, he's
he's
going
gonna
to
be
be in the
Truex for 2 months.
77 or whatever number it is. But yeah, I could see JGR fielding like a fifth car for a couple of races for Suarez. Um, yeah, but I don't know. Like outside of the only rising star outside of like Joe Gibbs is probably William Byron, who is I guess Kyle Busch Motorsports. But he's I guess he's with Junior Motorsports now, isn't he, for 2017?
Who?
William Byron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he'll be with Junior Motorsport. He's the only other rising star I can think of. Um, like that's actually good. I mean, I'm not saying like not the rising stars that they typically list, like Ty Dillon and fucking Ryan Reed and those guys who just suck. But you know,
Do you think we might see either a win from? I think I'll make a bold prediction here for 2017. Three Kyle Larson wins.
I think we're gonna see like 15 Kyle Larson wins.
You're too optimistic. But realistic.
Yeah, three. I think he could do better than three. Um, just because the next year's rules package really does suit him very well. Like, and I've said this before a couple times, but it's the same one they ran at Michigan this year, both Michigan races, and he finished first and third. And he was all like the one that he ended up winning. He was like exceptionally fast. I mean, he drove from like almost 30th to the top five all on a green at a place like Michigan, which, like, I mean, how many times have you ever seen that happen? There were no cautions. There's no strategy. He just like passed 25 cars all on the green at a place like Michigan and was running down the leaders. So if they had that kind of speed, under this package, I could see them having a lot of good fortune this year or next year. I mean, and Ganassi, as well. Although I don't think McMurray is really going to match Larson's success because he seems like he's kind of just been fading away for the past 4 or 5 years almost.
I think he's on his way out.
Yeah.
Um,
It really depends. Like if Larson has an exceptional season, they might just start looking for a replacement for McMurray because, if Larson proves that the team is actually capable of like going for titles, then they're probably going to want to get someone, a partner for him that's also kind of pushing the boundaries of the team. But yeah. And also Chase Elliott, I see him doing really well.
Yeah, I do too.
For the same reasons, he ran really, really well at Michigan. He ran well just about everywhere this year, but especially of when they tested this package, he was like pretty much the second fastest guy. So, and I don't know, he has too many resources around him not to do well at this point. Now that he's got his rookie season out of the way, and he's got a little bit of hair on his chest, so to speak. I see him doing pretty damn well. It just depends on like how retarded Alan Gustafson is with his strategy calls.
Yep. Probably. I think we'll probably see a little bit of Dale. I mean, obviously, we'll see the return of Dale Jr. Hopefully. I only see him running full time for maybe 2 or 3 more seasons before he packs it up.
Yeah, especially if they're kind of mediocre seasons, which that kind of seems to be I don't know, like last year, 2014 and 2015 were exceptionally good for him, but even like compared to his teammates, he was still, kind of probably a third place car out of Hendrick out of the 4 cars they've run.
A lot of we're going to see a lot of retirements probably within like the next 5-6 years.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. It'll be nice to see Junior back because I actually miss him. Like, kind of tired of Alex Bowman in the '88. But I don't know. Alex Bowman might have. It'd be nice to see him get a better ride than what he currently has.
Yep.
Who knows? Like maybe Richard Petty picks him up to replace Brian Scott. I don't know. I think he proved that he's capable of being like a top 10 driver in the right equipment, if not better than that. So
could have had probably more top tens if he didn't get screwed over at Charlotte's.
Yeah, well, it's a fact of life that the '88 car is cursed at Charlotte. So I don't know. That's something Junior fans need to accept.
I keep forgetting that. I don't think there's ever been a car that's had more bad luck at Charlotte than the '88. No matter who's driving it.
And it's like stupid stuff too that like should never happen. Like his fucking gear shifter breaks on a restart, or what was the other one last year? He had some issue last year. He's got loose wheels all the time, or runs out of gas
on the last turn of the last lap.
Yeah, just stuff like that is like the norm for Junior at Charlotte.
Oh, and then there was that one time, I think it was in 2012, where Junior got he got a concussion from a crash at Talladega. So Reagan Smith took over the '88, and even when Reagan Smith took over the '88, the engine died out like within like 60 laps of the race.
Yeah,
so that's the whole point. It doesn't matter who the hell is driving the '88; it's still cursed at Charlotte.
I wonder if Dale Jarrett ever won there when he was in the '88.
Oh fuck! You know what? I will look.
Might have. He probably did a few times. But yeah, ever since it went to Hendrick and they got the rights to that number, yeah, I don't think they really had any success. Except for like a sprint showdown one year.
You know what? I'm actually looking up Dale Jarrett. Come on. All right. Wow, he also ran very poor. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's see. Wow, he had a lot of DNFs at Charlotte.
Oh, wow. So maybe it
Oh my, okay.
further than we
he
thought.
won the Coca-Cola 600 in 1996. And he won the fall races in 1994 and 1997. So he was a 3-time winner at Charlotte, but he also had a lot of DNFs to go with it.
What car was he in 1994? Was that still with Joe Gibbs?
Hold on.
In the 18?
Oh my god. Okay. Yes. So So 94. Yes, he was still in the 18. He moved to Robert Yates in the 28 for 1995. But
right.
He won in the 86 car in 1996 and 1997.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Huh. So I don't know. Somebody put some kind of curse on him after that.
Definitely.
Because he won the All-Star race as a rookie, but that was in the 8 car.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know. I see Junior being. I think he'll be consistent because he's always consistent. I just don't know if I see him winning very much.
I don't even know if I'll see him in the chase.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, Greg Ives is really not that great of crew chief either. So I don't know. It's very possible he'll miss it.
Even his spotter is not that good. TJ Majors.
He is at the restrictor plate tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know about
But
other places.
he's always over exaggerated though by like by the commentators. They always talk
Maybe.
about what a great spotter he is, but I mean, other than the restrictor plate tracks, he hasn't shown himself to be that good. He almost ruined Chase Elliott's day at Richmond.
Yeah, I remember that. Let's see. I don't know. I think next year, I think we'll probably see Hendrick catch up quite a bit to Joe Gibbs, or Toyota, I should say, because it's really like Joe Gibbs plus Martin Truex. And for that matter, I do see Ganassi performing a lot better. I don't think we'll see Stewart-Haas be that strong because they're switching to Ford, and I just, for whatever reason, I don't envision that transition going very well for the first season because they're starting to manufacture all of their own chassis and engines and stuff. So they could be quite slow. Who knows? As if Danica isn't already slow enough, but she'll be even worse.
Ford did okay. The transition to Ford went okay, I guess, for Keselowski and Logano, but at least with Penske, like a lot of people were concerned about that it would. I mean, it delayed them for the 2013 year, but not so much for the years that followed.
Well, yeah. I don't think it'll last, but I think their first year, because like it isn't. I don't know. I mean, they used to rely on Hendrick for just about everything. Like they got their chassis and their engines from Hendrick, and I think maybe even some of their bodies. Now that they're going to Ford, they're going to have to do all of that themselves, or they've claimed they're going to do it all themselves. So I think they're going to have a lot of gremlins for a good bit of the season, and there's going to be a pretty steep learning curve. Which wouldn't mind seeing that, because it'd be kind of funny to see Kevin Harvick just like suck for the whole season, like especially if he doesn't even make the chase. That'd be pretty funny.
Did we ever get to see the Kyle Busch meltdown after Homestead? Or
No, I shut it off like as soon as.
so did I. So did I. I was like, yeah, fuck this, not watching.
I tried to watch like a review of that final restart or replay, which of course they never showed. And as soon as like they like showed Jimmy Johnson like getting out of the car, I was like, no, I'm done with this. I began my yearly ritual of like removing all NASCAR affiliated content from, like all of my devices. Like I uninstalled all my NASCAR apps and unsubscribed from all the channels, and you've got everything out of my feed NASCAR related. And I'm going to keep it that way until Speed Weeks in February.
Smart.
It's become a tradition. It's like 5 minutes after the Homestead race, just get rid of everything.
I'm still waiting for. I know we said that maybe IndyCar could be something to watch. It hasn't really shown itself. I mean, at least this year wasn't that exciting.
Yeah, IndyCar this year sucked, I think, compared to the previous seasons that I remember. I think Formula One it has the potential to be like super badass next year, because they instituted like a pretty dramatic rules package change, which means the cars next year are going to be the fastest ever, which is going to be kind of insane because they're already pretty damn fast, and they're supposedly going to be like 3 seconds faster everywhere they go.
One?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they completely reconfigured the cars. Like they have a lot bigger tires. The cars are a little bit lower to the ground, and they're wide. I mean, they just incorporated more speed in them in every possible way.
3 seconds.
Yeah, I mean they're already fast, but like in like 2002, I think was like when they were at the height of their performance, and they kind of cut back on all the restrictions to slow them down a little bit since then. But now they're ramping it back up, so that'll be interesting to see because they'll probably be
Maybe
breaking a lot of records this year or next year. I
it'll,
mean,
it'll be nice to see if IndyCar can do the same.
yeah, I wish
They
IndyCar
took
would.
down they took out the turbochargers after in '96. So
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would love it if I don't know. This year just sucked because like all three series were relatively uncompetitive. Like in
well, hold on.
NASCAR, you had Toyota winning the majority of stuff. In IndyCar, you had Penske pretty much dominating, and then in Formula One, it was all Mercedes. It was like there's no competition
Like,
really.
well, there was competition between the Mercedes drivers.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are so many other teams out there that just didn't even have a chance.
At least this time it wasn't Hamilton taking it all.
Yeah, I'm thankful for that.
Tired of Lewis.
But
Well, isn't Lewis Hamilton close friends with Jeff Gordon?
yeah, but he's still a douche.
Yeah, that's true.
He really is, like, in a lot of ways, he's like the Kyle Busch of Formula One. Not quite as ill-tempered and childish because it's kind of hard to be, as bad as Kyle Busch in those respects, but he still can be pretty annoying.
So, who do you think it's going to be the Gibbs for back in the chase again?
Yeah, it would be amazing if we didn't, like, if Kyle Busch misses the chase.
Like he did in 2009
That would
and
be that would
2012.
be that would be just glorious.
I think that's a
But
pipe. That's a pipe dream, though.
yeah, I know.
He's going to get one or two wins. That's
But who knows? I mean, it depends on how like the first half of the regular season goes. Because I think if he doesn't do well for that, he's going to develop, an attitude. He's going to become toxic and like corrosive to team morale, and then they're going to suck even worse. Then I could see him missing the chase, but I don't know. Like I swear, if he wins the Daytona 500, I might just like not watch NASCAR ever again. It's gonna make me puke in my mouth if that happens.
what if it's Jimmy Johnson?
Same thing.
Yep.
I'd be pissed. Like if either one of them is leading, I think I said this before because I'll be there. But if either one of them is leading, I am just gonna like start throwing everything I can get my hands on out onto the track.
Buy a big soda or whatever. Just make sure, even if you're done, make sure that once you're done drinking it, doesn't matter as long as there's still some ice in there, and just chuck it over the fence.
Yeah, or just
And
like
hey, maybe you'll hit Kyle Busch,
yeah,
hit Kyle Busch's car, and
or just get like one of those like
you might
police.
damage it. Like
Yeah,
those
the
cars.
police strips that they throw down to blow people's tires, and just bring a couple of those with me and sneaking through, and then throw them over the catch fence whenever Kyle Busch is leading. Oh God, that's gonna suck. I really don't want to see him win the 500 because we'll never hear the end of it.
What I'm worried is like, don't jinx it, dude. I don't believe in jinx. Honestly, like, uh, oh, hold on.
I don't know. It'd be cool to see like Jamie Murray or somebody like that win it. Who's been kind of out of the picture for a while because he still has it at the restrictor plates. But I don't know. I'm kind of worried of what 2017 might bring because I kind of already am getting to the point where I hate NASCAR and I could just hate it even more. I don't even know why. The only reason I still watch it is because I root for Kyle Larson. If I didn't have him, if I wasn't invested in him, I would not give a damn about NASCAR anymore. But you still there?
Yeah. Sorry, I had an issue, but I got it under control right now. Don't worry.
All right.
Oh yeah, I heard what you said though. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson. That would be the best part. I'd like to at least see Chase Elliott. Maybe not necessarily win it. That might be too much, but I just want him to see him finish all the laps this time at the 500
Yeah.
lead lap. I don't, as long as he's like in the top 10, I can live with that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty possible.
I don't understand also the reduction from the 43 car field to 40. I kind of missed 43.
Yeah, I don't remember what the rationale behind that was.
It's a Brian France decision. There never is rationality behind it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he's going to reduce it like to 35. Just I'm waiting for that day to happen.
You know, honestly, like the only way the chase would make sense is if they actually did like reduce the field size with each elimination round. Um, like when the chase starts, only those 16 drivers are allowed to participate from then on, and then they just eliminate 4, every 3 weeks. So then it would like be less stupid. I mean, it would still be stupid, but it would be more fair, I think.
They
I
probably
guess
all
I don't know.
we'll probably only see 3 cars finish at Talladega.
Yeah, that's true. Uh,
Although I wouldn't mind seeing that. Well, I'm still trying to think. Like, when was the low? Has there ever been a time like where, at least at Talladega, where so many cars have crashed that like it literally was half the field that only finished? I think we almost had that this year at the spring race at Talladega. I think there were only like 23 or 24 cars that finished the race.
um, yeah, I remember like at Daytona in 2014 during the Coke 400 that happened where
Oh yeah, yeah.
there were, I don't even remember how many cars would lead lap, but it was like I think it was like less than 15. Because they had 2 major wrecks that took out,
That's where Kyle Busch
15.
he was
Yeah,
thrown on
there
his
were like
load
15
upside down.
cars involved in each of those wrecks, just about. Um,
Yeah, Kyle Busch was thrown upside down. That
yeah, good
was
times.
what?
Good times.
Oh yeah, that's like maybe it'll happen again this time on his lid
Yeah.
or into the catch fence. No, not into the catch fence, but I don't want anybody to get hurt. But that's always the other thing. Are you a little worried about Daytona, like a car getting thrown into the catch fence?
No, man, that's like the best part. I was
I mean,
there, like I told you that, like I was there in 2013 when Kyle Larson went into the fence in the what was then the Nationwide Series. And that happened like right in front of me, or he got airborne in front of me and then kind of hit the fence a little bit later on. That was kind of amazing. I can't remember any other times that that's happened. I don't know. I'm sure it happened at Talladega a couple times when I went there, but I was probably too young to remember.
So how many tracks you've been to? Kansas, Daytona, and Talladega. Any other tracks? And
Yeah,
California.
Charlotte, Sonoma. Let's see, Atlanta. I'm probably forgetting one, but I can't think of what else it would be.
If anyway Brian France is going to win people back, he's got to bring back elements from the '90s.
Yeah, he needs to bring back Rockingham.
He
That
needs
would
to
that
bring
would
back
go a long way.
Rockingham.
If he brought back Rockingham, I might forgive him for some of his wrong. Not all of them, but some of them.
Bring back Rocking again. Like, if I would say there's 3 big things he could do. One would be bring back the pre 2004 point system, but that's a pipe dream. I know.
Yeah, yeah,
Bring back Rockingham. That would be, and he would be the third one. And it's a bit crazy, but I don't know. It just seems like it'd be the right thing to do. Reconfigure Atlanta to its old self. You know how the backstretch used to be the front stretch.
yeah.
But
Well,
now
Atlanta used to be like Homestead shaped. It didn't have
the
like
tri-oval.
quad. Yeah, it didn't have that quad oval
The quad
configuration.
oval, I'm sorry. That's what you call it, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be fun. Quad oval, but the quad oval is on the backstretch. That'd be I don't know if
maybe.
that really changes. I mean that could change the
I
dynamic
don't know.
a
Like
little
with
bit.
Atlanta, the thing that I'm kind of excited about is like even as great as Atlanta is now, like when they repave it, that track is going to be like unbelievably fast. Because like if you look it up, back in 1997, Jeff Bodine set the track record at like 197. That was in 1997's cars. Like which like 197 on a mile and a half is like a good bit faster than what they do now. So if they repaved it back to like those grip levels, but with today's cars, like they'd be doing like 205 almost. That would be utterly insane on a mile and a half. It'd practically need restrictor plates.
Is the repaving going to be done this year?
It's not this year, but I've read like increasing like amount of talk about it being done in like 2 or 3 years. Um, which it sucks, but it's inevitable. Like they can't just leave it. I don't know if you've actually seen what the surface looks like now, but it looks like it's like seashells almost, just like sticking out of the track everywhere. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad for grip.
Yeah. So they're gonna have to repave it. It's just a matter of when, but they're gonna be so fast when they do. It's gonna be insane. I mean, they very well like might just put restrictor plates on them or something because they're gonna be like averaging over 200 in qualifying pretty easily.
See, is there any other thing that you can, at least if you want to bring back the '90s to NASCAR, is there any other thing you'd like to see?
I don't think I'd really miss double file restarts that much if they got rid of them.
Yeah, that would be
I
nice.
mean,
Double.
we did say that. I don't know. It's no. I mean, the thing is, they're like, I don't know. Get rid of like some of the mile and a halves. Really, like, kind of diversify the schedule a little bit more.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they
like
used to have 2 Darlington races. I wouldn't mind seeing them bring back one of those.
maybe
Um,
take away one of the Kansas races.
yeah, get rid of Kentucky entirely.
Oh yeah, fuck Kentucky.
Get rid of. I wouldn't mind them seeing get rid of Dover. I've said that 100 times now. That track bores the hell out of me now.
Maybe
But yeah, like get rid of.
one of the races at Dover, and then maybe add one more. I mean, this isn't really a '90s thing, but it would be nice. One more road course.
Yeah, it's not a '90s thing, but they used to do that like back in the '80s. I mean,
Riverside.
yeah, it wasn't just Riverside. They used to have like all sorts of road courses that they would, maybe not necessarily all in one season, but they used to have more than 2 races a year.
Cup Reset Road America. I'm just waiting for that day to happen.
Hell, dude, that would be awesome. That would be fucking great. Like, or I don't know, like if they really wanted to be bold, like maybe have a race in Canada or something or Mexico.
Keep it. I don't know. Some people might get upset about that, although I wouldn't. I would love to see that. Like the Mexico City track that they used to race at the Nationwide Series was great.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, then you have a lot of options in Canada, either in
Right.
Montreal or the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park.
Yeah. Or in let's see, what was the other one?
Laguna Seca would also be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like that. I don't know if they would be able to, because a lot of people have concerns about like the corkscrew and whether or not the Cup cars could handle it, because it is like a 10-story drop. I don't know. I think they could. Yeah, Eldora. I know we've said that before. Like definitely go to Eldora. Because why? Like how could you argue against that? You'd be a terrible human being if you didn't want Cup cars at Eldora.
I don't know if you can do it, but it would.
Well, maybe just like they need to design a specific Eldora only rules package or something. Kind of like, I don't know, like the Indy 500 kind of used to be that way, where it's like Formula One used to race at Indianapolis for the U.S. Grand Prix back like when the 500 was a part of the schedule, and they would show up with like, Indy cars essentially that were kind of different from what they ran during the rest of the F1 season. So I don't know if they did something like that at Eldora, that'd be pretty badass. But let's not kid ourselves. They're never going to do that. But you can dream.
Always a dreamer. All right, so I think with that, probably gonna end it here. Yeah, fuck the second half of the 2016 season. I can't say that enough. And it was a great first half, at least. I'll take it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck 2016 altogether.
Yeah, pretty much. 2016 just as a year has kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Most people would agree with that.
It's gonna be more fun in 2017 when Trump takes office.
Yeah.
I'm still like 20. God, like I'm still waiting for this, man. Like 2017, I'm like frightened it's gonna be even crazier.
I I hope it's crazier in a good way, but I don't
Yeah,
see it.
yeah, in a good way, but
I don't
God,
think
like I was like so optimistic about 2016 too. I thought, 2015 was a pretty good year. I'm pretty sure it can only get better. It can only go up. It's like, wow, I was wrong about that.
Yeah, the Cubs winning the World Series was like the only redeeming factor of 2016 because everything else was kind of terrible. But
Alright. Oh, sorry. And with that, I'm just gonna call it for 2016. And good God, I can only hope 2017 gives us better racing and hopefully makes us less crazy on social media.
yeah, good luck with that.
That's probably not going to happen anytime soon.